than a streak of lightning, more powerful than the pounding surf, mightier than a roaring hurricane. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
And while on a hunting trip, my father discovered what are now known as the Henderson Caverns. More than 40 years ago, he mysteriously disappeared while exploring them further. Recently, I found these maps and charts he left, suggesting that still greater wonders and mysteries lay beyond in this vast underground world. Now, if your paper will help finance the expedition, I will take Miss Lane and Mr. Kent with me and guarantee the Daily Planet exclusive rights to the story.
Sounds like a great story, Chief.
I'd love to go.
Well, let me see. All right, it's a deal.
Thanks, Mr. White. We can leave immediately. Careful now. Those are explosives for the blasting we'll have to do. We're shoving off, Kent. Meet you in the Blue Grotto.
So long, Clark.
See you later, Lois.
According to the map, this next grotto is the furthest any man has ever been.
Is that to be our society?
That's right. The dynamite.
Above his head. Why, the resemblance is remarkable. Is that...
Yes, my father. But what would they be doing with a statue of him?
Henderson! 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 Lois! 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 This is a job for Superman.
It's really a great story, Lois.
Yes, Steve.
But no one would ever believe it.
This is the outfit, a rolling caravan that tours the highways and byways of America, bringing a thrill-packed show to hundreds of thousands of spectators all over the country throughout the year. Day after day, night after night, the equipment is unloaded for the grueling series of breathtaking routines that a talented troupe of daring drivers perform with the same fleet of regular production model cars. Yes, this is the outfit, and this is the slogan they swear and live by. I drove all three. Comparison proves it's Chevrolet for me. And here's a man who should know.
I'm Joey Chitwood. I'm the boss of this outfit, so be my guest.
Yes, Steve.
Join the crowd that's come to take in the exciting thrill-a-minute show that my boys and I put on. Popcorn, peanuts, and red hots for the customer, and a real hot car for the drivers. Chevrolet's the only one we use, not a souped-up reinforced model, but the same Chevrolet you'll find on any showroom floor. The hundreds of thousands of people who catch our show in a season see with their own eyes that the cars they can buy are the same ones we drive. And I'm giving it to you straight. My boys and I give hundreds of performances, day and night, with this same fleet of Chevrolets. When you see the pounding we give them in these highlights from various shows, you'll get an idea of why the car we use has to be able to take it. And now here's our announcer getting the show underway.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in behalf of Joey Chitwood and his world champion Auto Thrill Show. And now moving along with the individual introduction of each of the Daredevil stars driving brand new 1956 Chevrolet cars.
That's how we take our bows. Just the drivers, mind you, not the Chevrolet. We can spin on a dime and give you a nickel change. Believe me, it takes more than hard braking and an expert at the wheel to do that. It takes a combination of balanced weight distribution, plus the way Chevrolet's front-end suspension is built into the chassis. There's the combination that makes for sure-footed, anti-dive braking control. Safer, easier all-around handling with a car that'll stop heads up. Yes, safer by a long shot, even in a full reverse spin, which we wouldn't wish on anybody driving on highways. But if it happens in an extreme emergency, Chevrolet's combination of outrigger rear springs and body balance are protection against a rollover. I don't expect you'll ever run into any road hazards like these, but here's another example of Chevrolet's ability to meet and beat an emergency. It's like balancing an egg on a toothpick. It takes more than driver juggling to do it. Balanced frame construction is what lets us ride this two-wheel tightrope. Think we'll make it? Well, take a look at the rugged steel backbone in that chassis. A rigid box girder frame with no excess weight, and with a road holding low center of gravity, makes it a cinch for us to come off these runs right side up.
Yes, Steve. Rough.
Just in case you're wondering what would happen if my boy didn't make it, I've rigged this little stunt.
Yes, Steve.
Up and over. And these especially braced old jalopies we use in our shows really take a pounding. But it wouldn't prove a thing unless we put one of our regular cars in our fleet through this exact same routine.
Rough.
And this will really give you an idea of how
Yes,
rugged
Steve.
Chevrolet is. Because
Yes,
we run
Steve.
them brand new in this rollover demonstration. And this 1956 Chevrolet has no special reinforcement whatsoever. Here we go. Hold it. This is too good to miss. So let's start at the beginning again and run it real slow so you can see for yourself the full wallop this car takes on the rollover. As tough as any proving ground test a car can be put through. Durability? Brother, that solid, sturdy, double-wall steel construction really gives durability to Chevrolet. Because here we are, heads up and running. A car that can do that means the world to you in your everyday driving. And talking about everyday driving, I'm sure you won't get tied up in many situations like this. But to be freewheeling in tight spots where every inch counts is something we just don't take for granted. We've got to be sure of split-second response with every turn of the steering wheel. And no matter how or where you drive, when threading through traffic, cornering, taking the wide turns or the sharp turns on the highways, steering control is the key to easy, fatigue-free handling.
Yes, Steve.
You'll want that split-second response, and you'll get it from the same place we get it. From Chevrolet's ball race steering gear. It cuts friction and drag down to practically nothing. Besides, these outrigger rear springs mounted outside the frame members reduce sway and body roll on the sharpest of turns, producing sure fire control every foot of the way. Routines like this could be a tough, nerve-wracking grind, but behind the wheel of a Chevrolet, they're just the smooth, easy-handling pleasure that's tops in our book, and can be the same for any driver who chooses Chevrolet. Now, no matter how good roads are these days, your car still takes plenty of bumps and jolts. But they're nothing compared to this ramp jump I'm going to show you for demonstration purposes. No sway, no swerve. Perfect balance and a perfect landing. It's a jarring test of the springs, chassis, and frame, and the pounding we give these same cars day after day proves beyond all doubt that they're built to take it under the roughest driving conditions. Of course, no one drives on such roads all the time, but the times that you do, it's good to know that the Chevrolet you drive can take this kind of punishment. I'm sure you won't be doing this kind of high flying, and no man would, even in this business, if he wasn't absolutely sold on the car he used. It takes power, the solid, dependable V8 power you've got at the tip of your toe when you press down on a Chevrolet accelerator. In case you missed some of that, we'll try it again. This is something we can do only on film, but it'll show you how steady Chevrolet is, even flying high like this. And in this demonstration, you'll see 1956 Chevrolet durability put to the acid test.
Yes, Steve.
A car has to have everything to do this and survive, especially durability. And considering that this same car was used for the rollover stunt, it's really rugged. Here's another chance to see what I mean. With Chevrolet, I know I can drive away under my own power every time. And I've got to know if I'm going to put on another show tomorrow. You can take my word, we live to drive, and drive to live. And Chevrolet is the car we trust our lives to. Day in, day out, night after night, we show off our driving skills with this package of driving thrills. But more than that, we prove every day that the extra margin of safety every family wants in a family car is built into a Chevrolet.
Yes, this is the outfit.
Yes, Steve.
And here is the slogan they swear and live by. I drove all three. Comparison proves it's Chevrolet for me. It's a cinch this fellow knows, and you'll know too, once you get behind the wheel of a Chevrolet.
Look closely. Recognize this city? Unless you belong to the Westchester Model Club, Pelham Manor, New York, you probably don't. It looks real, but this is a model railroad, exactly 1/48 life size. Passing above, a diesel haul streamliner, copy of a Great Northern train. Club members build every piece of equipment. This road runs on a timetable. Trains always run on time.
Yes, Steve.
Westbound freight, complete with
Yes,
caboose.
Yes, Steve.
In the background, a commuter train. Overhead wires supply this train's power. The locomotive turntable, roundhouse in the background. Passing, a New Haven Railroad train with electric engine, another perfect scale copy. In the roundhouse, Eastern Line trains are completely serviced, inspected, tightened, cooled, watered, sandboxes refilled. This engine has just been serviced. Another station on the line, Silver Creek, passenger train arriving. Over 50 members operate this model railroad, a hobby commanding nearly all their spare time. Here comes the New York Central Fast Freight, an exact scale copy of those running between New York and Buffalo. On the lower level, a local freight. Comparative speeds of these trains are to exact scale, too. The passenger train's ready to pull out. Right on schedule to the second. What a way to run a railroad. Using a miniature yard switching engine, a complete freight train will now be assembled. Mr. Russell Lockwood operating. Just as in a real freight yard, the old switch engine does the assembling, picking up loaded cars all over the freight yard, backing off past the switches to change track, then reversing, a slow process aimed at moving all the freight into one line on the makeup track. Past the switching point, the section will now reverse down into the makeup track. The switcher uncouples and goes for more freight cars. While the freight is assembled further, a word about who belongs to model clubs. Members include executives and clerks, salesmen and school teachers, garage mechanics and bank presidents.
Yes, Steve.
The switcher has already picked up another section.
Yes, Steve.
This too must back past the switching point and then reverse into the makeup track. Making up freight is a back and forth operation. Now watch some tricky switching. Let her roll. That does it. Oh, not quite. Seems to be something missing. What could it be? Mr. Lockwood seems to know. Our switcher certainly is after something. It must be down there by those ice houses. The yard engine sure is coming a long distance this time. Now we'll find out what he's after. Of course, the caboose. No freight's complete without a caboose. A locomotive, completely serviced, waits patiently while the caboose is coupled to the freight. And now, the final step. The road engine leaves the roundhouse and starts moving up to head the freight train. The yard engine's work is done. Here comes our road engine. Now to back the engine to the load. This freight is ready to roll. There she goes, the freight you saw assembled in the yard. So long, caboose. Fine exhibition, Mr. Lockwood. You're a model railroader. Here's something really unusual. A model circus train, made by a former circus man. The circus train is authentic in every detail. Look at the animal cages. The show is on the road. If you've been wanting to run away with the circus, hurry. Here is a safe railroad crossing. See the warning signal flashing? All tracks clear for the mail train, New Haven Streamliner. This trestle up in the mountain division is so well built it will support a full-grown adult. A 350 engine, drawing power from overhead wires. Fun and perfection are the twin objectives of the men who build their own rolling stock. On this model railroader's dream come true.
Yes, Steve.
A steam locomotive on the mountain line. Not all model railroads equal this one, but this club's devotion to hobby is equaled wherever men run model trains. All over the world, in shops, in store windows, or in the cellar of the house, running them or just watching. The little trains that run on time hold never-ending fascination for millions of model railroaders.
Yes, Steve.
is a story of the future, but not the very distant future. It is a story that might have taken place the day after tomorrow. Like all stories of the future, however, its beginnings lie far back in the past, as far back as the first man on Earth to gaze at the stars and wonder someday, somehow, he might travel to them. Travel through space. In the years following the Second World War, two basic patterns began to influence the growing science of space travel. Rockets or guided missiles grew larger and larger. Atomic power plants grew smaller and smaller, compact enough to be contained in a submarine, finally in a rocket ship. Immediately, by special order of the President, a new agency was formed, CIFC, Civil Interplanetary Flight Commission. So, with almost unlimited funds voted by Congress, this commission began its task: research in new fissionable materials. More research in non-fissionable metallic alloys to make rocket tubes that would not be melted like wax by their own atomic blasts. Sometimes mishaps occurred. And men paid for them with their lives. But the work went on. Experiments in celestial navigation. Astrophysics. Aerodynamics. Until finally, only one obstacle remained. That, as our story begins, turned out to be the oldest obstacle in the history of mankind: the human factor.
DSD?
Really, Dr. Harrison, this is intolerable. Dan! Dan, are you all right? Dan, snap out of it! Yeah. Dan, how do you feel? Okay?
Yeah, guess so. Must have blacked out.
Sit tight and take it easy. Now get him out of there and over to the hospital.
You see, Doctor, he wasn't in any real danger.
Yes, see?
Under other forms of government, men are deliberately killed or crippled every day in experiments like this. Well, I won't stand by and see manslaughter become policy here.
I resent that implication. These men are volunteers.
It's too bad. The commissioner was most anxious to have this test carried out to the extreme so that he could discuss the results with Professor Nordstrom.
Well, you can tell the commissioner and Professor Nordstrom. Never mind, I'll tell him myself.
The commissioner's office. Oh, good morning, General. Yes, Professor Nordstrom's with the commissioner now. No, I'm sorry. Dr. Harrison, what's the matter?
I want to see the commissioner.
I'm sorry, he's with Professor Nordstrom.
Miss Biggett, copies of these for Professor Nordstrom, please.
I want to see you.
In just a few minutes,
Yes,
Harrison. I can't talk to you at the moment.
You don't have to. Just listen. I resign as of now.
Harrison, what in the world's wrong with you?
I told you once before that I'm not going to stand by anymore and watch human beings being turned into guinea pigs.
My dear Harrison, the uncovering of knowledge must always involve risk for pioneers. Fortunately, there are always men and women ready to take those risks. Now, you know that as well as I do.
That's not the point, and you know it. We shouldn't even be considering the use of test pilots in this first experimental ship. It's not only inhuman, it's unscientific and unintelligent.
That's quite enough. We'll resume this discussion later on.
My, you are in a state.
There's my pass, staff card, and the badge. You can send my papers down to the hotel.
Just a moment, Doctor. You can't leave the building without your exit pass, you know.
Yes?
Dr. Harrison, this is Gilligan of Transglobal News. I'm down in the lobby.
As far as I'm concerned, you can stay there.
Well, hold on, Doc. All I want to know is what's going on between you and Professor Nordstrom.
Nothing. Yes?
This is the Washington
Yes,
Globe, Dr. Harrison. We're trying to contact Professor Nordstrom.
Look, if this is a gag, it's not very funny. I've never even met Professor Nordstrom, and there's no reason to suppose that I ever will.
Yes, see?
Dr. Harrison?
Yes. Are you by any chance going to talk to me about
Yes,
Professor Nordstrom?
Why, yes, in a way.
Well, let me tell you this. A, he isn't here. B, I don't know where he is. C, I've never met him. And D, I don't want to.
3 misstatements out of 4, Doctor. That's a bad average for a
Yes,
man of
see?
science. You see, I am Professor Nordstrom, and I'm
Yes,
very
see?
glad to meet you at last.
You are? Why?
Because I've followed your career with interest, and we see eye to eye on a subject with which I'm particularly concerned.
We do? I don't get it.
Perhaps a little
Yes,
more
see?
seclusion might be a good idea. You mind if I make myself comfortable?
Go ahead.
Well, the fact is, Doctor, I overheard your little interview with the CIFC director this morning. As I just spent an hour telling him exactly what you told him so much more cogently in a couple of minutes, I was,
Yes,
well,
see?
interested to say the least.
You mean to tell me that you think they're wrong in trying to use human beings?
I know they're wrong. Before we can prepare men for the conditions they're going to meet in extraterrestrial space, we've got to know what those conditions are. Not guess, but know.
That's what I've been telling them all along. But the problem of getting there and back to collect accurate data
Yes,
without the
see?
use of human pilots and observers is going to be a backbreaker.
On the contrary, I can almost say now that I have it solved. With your collaboration, I think I can convert that almost into an unqualified fact.
Your attention, please. Your attention, please. Skyliner flight number 1 for Los Angeles will board at South Concourse, gate number 5, in 15 minutes.
So we can start work the moment we arrive, without all of those coils of red tape hampering us all the time.
I know what you mean. I suppose that sprang from the secret nature of the project in the first place.
Top secret. Someday before I'm too old, I look forward to working on a job where I don't have to burn the contents of my wastebasket every night.
You never can tell who might be hiding in the wasteland.
Don't tell me your security regulations quota too, my boy.
Okay. You were saying you'd be able to show me what you're working on since we arrived.
I'd have to. Every minute counts now, because we have to perfect my innovation before the commission is ready to send out its first ship. Now, if we do...
Well, well, if it isn't Professor Nordstrom. I don't know whether you remember me or not. Gilligan, science editor of Transglobal News Service.
You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Gilligan, but I've met so many journalists here in Washington.
All you scientists are supposed to be absent-minded. Me, I'm trained never to forget a face.
I'm afraid we're talking shop, Gilligan.
That's what I figured. You're Harrison, aren't you? Of the Civil Interplanetary Flight Commission.
No comment.
Well, you were until you quit this morning. And what was that all about, Doctor?
No comment.
You two being together here at the airport. This anything to do with the trouble you've had with the commission, Professor?
I'm afraid I have no comment for that either. Now, why don't you leave us both alone?
Oh, take it easy, Doc. Never can tell what kind of a story will gel when you big brains huddle together.
Like the one your syndicate released prematurely about the hydrogen bomb drops in the Pacific, or the atomic aircraft carrier engine.
Yes, look, you're in the business of smashing atoms. I'm in the business of selling newspapers. If Uncle Sam doesn't know how to keep his own secrets, that's his tough luck.
It doesn't matter how much aid or comfort you give our potential enemies, or how many of our side eventually get killed.
Hold it, Ralph. Now listen, Mr. Gilligan.
You listen to me, Professor. You fellas can't go on dummying up like this indefinitely. Sooner or later, you've got to talk for the record. Look at it this way. The prospect of space travel in the immediate future is the biggest news story in the country today. Years and years of research, millions and millions of taxpayers' dollars have been spent building that first spaceship. Now, when it's just about ready to take off, what happens? One of the greatest scientific minds in the world, that's you, comes out and disagrees about how the ship's to be worked.
I was about to say, Mr. Gilligan, I'd be willing to make a statement.
I don't want a statement. I want facts. It's no secret in Washington that the row was over your not wanting to use men on the first space trip. What the people of the United States want to know is what you propose using instead.
If I were prepared with the facts you're talking about now, I'd tell you. Only right now, I'm not. However, I will tell you this. Just 30 days from now, at my home in California, Dr. Harrison and I will tell all, or at least as much as circumstances at that time will allow.
I'll be there, Professor.
So will the science editors of, say, 11 other press services.
Well, I thought this was an exclusive. It ought to be.
Do the people of the United States read only Transglobal News releases, Mr. Gilligan?
Your attention, please.
Yes.
Skyliner, flight number 1 for Los Angeles, now boarding at South Concourse, gate number 5.
That's our call, Professor.
I'll see you in California, Mr. Gilligan.
Okay. Okay.
Skyliner, flight number 1 for Los Angeles, now boarding at South Concourse, gate number 5.
Yes, but where are we?
You'll see in a minute. You made good time, Carl.
The car runs good.
This is my own invention. A combination of sonic beam and photoelectric cells. The chance of anyone else hitting on the same code of lights and sound impulses is practically non-existent. I have a whole series throughout my premises.
You sound as proud of them as if they'd won the Nobel.
darling.
Dad, it's so good to see you.
This is Dr. Harrison, Janice, my new colleague. My daughter, Mrs. Roberts, who runs this household with a rod of iron.
Yes, see?
Dad, how do you do?
How do you do?
Gramps! Gee wilkers, you got here just in time. Come on in the house, Gramps. I got it all figured out. Gee, I'm glad you're here. Come on, I gotta show you.
We got company. This is my grandson, Brian, better known as Gadge. He likes gadgets, too, perhaps too fondly. Dr. Harrison, who's going to work with me.
How are you, Brian?
Yes,
Or may I call you Gadge?
How do you do, sir? Come on, Gramps, I gotta show you. Come on.
You'll have to excuse me. This sounds urgent.
Yes, see?
He's the grandson. The father of the boy was killed in Korea 7 years ago. The boy is an imp of Satan. But what a brain. He'll be a greater man than his grandfather.
Look, Gramps, I told you I had it figured out. Only first I gotta make myself as tall as you are.
Up until this moment, I thought I had invented the only burglar-proof lock, with only 2 people in the world, Carl and myself, sharing the secret of the combination. And how did you work it out, young man?
Oh, logarithms. But I never went down the Gramps, honest. Not without you around.
Are you sure, Gadge?
Okay, Gadge. Come on, Ralph. As long as he has it open, I may as well show you what's down there.
Can I come too, Gramps?
No, my friend, you cannot. But I think it's time you were getting to school.
I'm afraid it is, Gadge.
What's the time?
Time is now 21 and a half minutes past 8.
Yes, see?
Gimmicks. Always gimmicks.
Let's get out of here.
Wish I were down there, Vulcan. I wish I knew what Gramps was doing. I mean, this big job. Why won't he tell me?
I guess it's just too important, Gadge. Nobody knows but Carl.
And now this Harrison guy. Must be a pretty big job for him not to tell me. He
What's
never...
that?
Shh, listen. What is it? What is it?
Yes, see?
Are you sure you won't change your mind, Gramps?
I'm sorry, Gadge. You know how much I'd like to have you down there tonight, but I just can't.
But why? I know just as much about electronics and stuff as those old guys from the newspapers.
They're not just old guys from the newspapers, Gadge. They're very distinguished
Yes, see?
scientific journalists representing the most important news services of the world. I will grant you this.
Right.
You do know as much about electronics as they do.
But I still don't see why.
Well,
Yes, see?
although you have a searching mind and the courage of a grown-up scientist, you look like just what you are, an 11-year-old boy. And I'm afraid that the people we've invited here tonight under such secrecy might not be adult enough to understand your presence here. That's why I have to pack you off to bed.
I understand, Gramps.
Good night. Thanks, Gadge.
Well, I guess I won't be needing this.
Yes, see?
Well, I see no reason why you shouldn't hear what's going on.
Gee willikers! Thanks, Gramps!
Yes, see? Trasso. Yes, see?
Go ahead.
This is worse than crashing the Pentagon. When do we get in?
When I've checked all the papers and written down all the numbers. Go ahead.
Yes, see?
All is in order.
Yes, see?
Thank you, my friend.
Your place certainly has a lot of charm, Professor.
It certainly does.
It's an amazing location for a laboratory. How'd you ever find it? This old wine cellar was precisely the reason that I bought this place.
It's ideal both for security and to protect our delicate equipment from surface vibrations. And now I think we'd better get started. Won't you be seated, gentlemen?
Mind if I sit here?
No, please do.
As you know, gentlemen, it is my contention, as well as Dr. Harrison's, that to man the first experimental spaceship with a living crew is a useless and unwarranted risk of human life. The research programs so far conducted by the Armed Forces and the Civil Interplanetary Flight Commission have been well planned and executed as far as they go. But they deal only with the easily deducible, obvious hazards of what we call space.
Cosmic rays, disorientation, weightlessness, but they cannot guard against the unknown hazards.
Without the results of actual observation and recording of data, no man can possibly know the conditions existing outside the atmospheric envelope of this Earth. He can only guess. And to me, the word guess cannot in any circumstances fit with the word science.
Now, you say you must have the results of actual observation, yet you're opposed to sending human pilots to get them. Aren't you talking in contradictions, Professor?
No, Mr. Gilligan, as you will see for yourself. Joke of mine. Robot spelled backwards.
Well, since this is your invention, Professor Nordstrom, I suppose we can be sure this isn't just another movie Frankenstein.
You certainly can.
Yes.
In fact, the term robot is hardly accurate in spite of my joke. I would prefer to say an electronic simulacrum of a man.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gee willikers.
Are you trying to tell us that this pile of tin could actually pilot a spaceship?
Exactly.
Now, you control this thing from that box by some sort of electronic wavelength or something, right?
At the moment, I do, Mr. Johnson.
Well, how do you know that the wavelength will be powerful enough to work outside the Earth's atmosphere?
I don't, sir. But that doesn't matter very much, because I'm not going to need them there. You see, Mr. Johnson, this control system is only a temporary expedient to activate Tobor during the early stages of his development. From this point on, he will be guided by a totally different method.
How about a little fill-in on that, Professor?
You mean something new, something we've never heard of?
On the contrary, gentlemen, I'm sure most of you have heard of it, although I imagine few of you will believe in it. ESP, extrasensory perception.
You mean that stuff about projecting thought images by telepathy?
Mr. Gilligan, you're not too far off. In here, gentlemen, is the most intricate part of what I assure you is a highly sensitive mechanism. When that is activated, like this,
Oh, he looks alive.
that is an illusion, my dear, caused by reflected light in the eye tubes. And yet, in a way, Tobor is alive. For even though much work remains before he's completed, he is already a sentient being. The sentience may be synthetic, but is there nonetheless. A necessary adjunct to the recording of all experiences our human space crews may later encounter.
Sentient being? You mean this thing can feel?
Well, let me put it another way. Even in his present unfinished state, Tobor will react to emotional stimuli. Janice, help me with a little experiment, will you? Gentlemen, I assure you there's no collusion here. I'm merely going to ask Mrs. Roberts to approach Tobor and feel friendliness toward him. Think goodwill, as it were. You can do that, can't you, Janice?
I'll try.
All right, then go ahead. Just don't make any gestures. Just hold the friendship thought.
He does look almost kind, doesn't he?
Thank you, Janice.
Could you get a reaction from some other emotion, Professor? And from a stranger? Say from Johnston here.
I think we could manage to do that. But why don't you make the experiment, Mr. Gilligan? Do you suppose you could contrive to feel enmity toward Tobor?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yes, sure I could.
Very well, then. Suppose you get up and take one of those fire axes from the wall. Now, if you will, walk around behind Tobor. Hold the thought of enmity all the time. Deadly enmity. Well, there you have it, gentlemen. This time, the emotional stimulus was danger, the reaction fear, instantly followed by anger. You have just witnessed the complete cycle of a synthetic instinct, self-preservation.
I have a question, Professor. Now, you persistently referred to the fact that this robot...
Tobor, Mr. Johnston. You'd better use his name or he might resent you.
Oh, sorry. I'll rephrase that. Why do you keep saying that Tobor is still incomplete?
For the simple reason, Mr. Johnston, that we have not yet perfected his long-range communication system. As you know, gentlemen, at each end of such a system, there's a power unit, a transmitter, and a receiver. Here is our receiver, Tobor himself.
Yes,
when he is switched from direct to infinite control, he is capable of receiving thought impulses over any conceivable span. It is only the transmitter which Dr. Harrison and I are in process of perfecting.
How about giving us a look at his innards, Professor? Or are they top secret, too?
I don't mind if Tobor doesn't. And now, gentlemen, I think I've said everything I can say of importance tonight.
And it's certainly Tobor's red tie. I gotta see Tobor. I just gotta.
Just a minute, Mr. Gilliam.
Yeah, see?
I'm not questioning your integrity as a journalist, Mr. Gilligan. I'm simply requesting again that you confine your coverage to the facts contained in Professor Nordstrom's handout.
Now, look, Doc, we don't tell you how to run your job.
I realize that, Mr. Gilligan, but your papers aren't exactly famous for their conservative handling of the news.
Now, just a minute. That's the trouble with you scientists. You won't face up to the facts of life.
Ralph, I have to put my car away. Would you give me a hand with the garage door?
I'd like to. Very much.
Tobor, you're beautiful.
Glad you could make it, gentlemen. Goodbye.
George, I'll bet he's doing it.
Gadge.
That little so-and-so. Do you realize what he did? He actually worked out all those controls and got Tober back in his box all within 5 minutes.
Dad, you're wonderful. But he was bad, very bad.
You go to bed, Janice. Ralph and Carl and I'll get this rubbish all squared away.
Good night.
Good night, darling.
Beats me how that kid worked out those controls. I'd hate to try it with a slide rule.
I told you that boy's a genius.
Hey, wait a minute. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. How many news services did you ask to send representatives tonight, Professor?
12, as you know. Why?
Because there are 13 empty chairs, and tonight every one of them is filled. A 1953 black Ford sedan. License number 9Y-33-26. That's the last number on the list, Sheriff. Professor Nordstrom's man was instructed to admit all newsmen showing a proper letter of accreditation. Unfortunately, the professor omitted to tell him just how many were expected, so that 13th letter must have been a forgery. Incidentally, Sheriff, I'd appreciate it if you'd pass those license numbers on to the FBI. No, we won't be needing your deputies to guard us. We're taking our own precautions, and Professor Nordstrom assures me that they're more than adequate. Thanks again, Sheriff. Goodbye.
22 university degrees, and I forget to tell Carl the number of letters. No wonder they tell jokes about absent-minded professors.
Well, that's spilled milk now. At least we're alerted that somebody is mighty curious about Tobor. Let's hope that those precautions of yours are rugged enough to keep them out.
Well, that at least I can guarantee. Come on, Carl. Let's check the wiring.
Gimmicks. Always gimmicks.
I wish someone would tell me exactly who or what we're guarding against.
Well, we built the basic emotional patterns for a constructive mission into Tobor. Just think what would happen if someone else, some potential enemy, built destructive patterns into a few thousand like him.
Oh, what a terrifying thought.
Anything new?
They still haven't posted a guard.
I should.
It's been 4 days now, and I haven't seen a soul. You must have got away with it.
Might be a trap.
Well, how do we play it then? Wait for a break?
Unfortunately, my friend, we haven't much time. The highest party officials are concerned. They feel that once Nordstrom has perfected his control system, the federal government will take over. It will be considerably more difficult for us to get at it.
And so?
So we get into the house.